That's the sound that brought me to Bali. I guess wasn't a very good impersonation of a gong, but it's that incredible resonance. It's that sonic boom that entered my heart in 1996, and I was lucky enough to get a scholarship to study in Indonesia, and I chose Bali. I was the first New Zealander to study in Bali on a Dharma Siswa scholarship, and this completely changed my life. To make a long story short, because we're getting late in the night, I've been here almost 30 years, 28 years now. I have a beautiful Balinese family. Some of my nuclear family is here tonight. This is my boss, Bu Boss, Putu Evie, and my first son, Gede Samara, Kadek Prana, second son. And we have a separate family here as one of my best friends in Bali. He's the longest current member, active member of Mekar Bhuana. He's been active since 2009, and we've been going for 25 years, our 25th anniversary. He's been hanging out with us, putting up with my silly buleness for a long time. I can't even calculate. This is Dap and his daughter, Anindya, who's already doing competitions in Gandara Wayang, you heard before. And what changed my life wasn't just coming to Bali, but it was becoming part of a Balinese family. So it was having my teeth filed. It was marrying a Balinese, beautiful Balinese, when I had my teeth filed. It was having kids who, for some reason, wanted to kind of follow in my footsteps and get nerdy about the Gamelan. I'm known as the Gamelan geek. I'm also known as Bule Karauhan because I'm one of probably a number of Bule have Karauhan have been in trance before. I don't know why. So I've done all these crazy Balinese things. I tune gamelan in villages and temples. Basically old Balinese people put up with me or question me and, kind of sometimes accept me. And I try my best to inspire young Balinese. How do I inspire young Balinese? I make them feel jingah. Do you guys know what jingah means? Jingah. Can anyone put their hand up and tell me what jingah means? In English, exact translation. I bet you can't because jengah doesn't exist in English. Correct me if I'm wrong, my Balinese friends, but jengah is a feeling of, ragu jengah san, chang jengah, rasa jengah, because I feel like it's like a frustration, but you kind of feel inspired, but I own it, I want to be like that, I want to show you that I can do it. And that's what I tried to get from, but I still try to do that even though I've got what I call, I have already got penyakit perempuan. Don't feel sorry for me. Do you know what penyakit perempuan is? It's a woman's disease called keputihan, whiteness. I have white hair. That's a really bad Balinese joke. In fact, I have the grandchildren of my eldest teacher here, Kak Gunastro, who passed away several years ago during the pandemic. He was 92. He was the best storyteller. He taught me that silly joke. And I loved his silly jokes. And that's one thing I loved about Balinese is that they don't just storytell, but they tell the silliest jokes, man. And I like making up the silliest jokes. Like I say, I don't know, I had one the other day and I said, I would like to give, I hope that we can give this as a donasi. And they go, oh, okay. And I said, donat and nasi. And they'll go, oh my God. I mean, there's not even a Balinese joke. It's a really bad Indonesian joke. But yeah, you guys are cringing, right? Because like all the bule think that's just ridiculous, but the Balinese all laughed. Okay, and at home, I'm a babu, which is the barista bule, because I make her a coffee every day. And if you know what babu means, it's kind of derogatory, but I like that, the self-derogatoriness, if that even exists as a word. So without further ado, I just want to explain what we do at Mekar Bhuana. Mekar Bhuana Centre, I'm the founder. It's based under a newly founded yayasan called Yayasan Samaragita Bhuana. Is Prada here? I don't know, is Dayu Prada here? She's on the board with Evie. And we've just set it up with the head of the Bali Tourism Board, Dayu Prada's father, Gus Agung. And it's to umbrella Mekar Bhuana, where we're trying to do as much work in the villages. The first thing we want to do is map all of the different Balinese gamelan and eventually dance in the whole of Bali. It's like mission impossible. So I don't know where we start. We'll probably start just down our street and we'll probably find like 10 different ones. So it's got to be like generations of lifetime. That's why we're trying to produce. How many more kids we've got to have? Like 25 more, so we've got a whole Sukkot Gamelan. Anyway, enough with the jokes. What we do is also restore old gamelan. So this little beautiful gamelan here, I bought from an antique collector. It was going to be sold probably to a villa or something. This is part of a big set. This is from the 1800s. So I restored and tuned it. And then we added these bamboo instruments. Have you guys seen instruments like this? Yeah, where have you seen them? Probably Indonesian embassies or in Bandung. These ones are not from Bandung. These are proudly Balinese. These are Angklung Kocok Bali. They have a Balinese name, Abunjing. Can you guys shake them all together? All together? Cool sound. Okay, so these are tuned to an Angklung scale. Can you do the dang, dang, dong, dang, ding? Can you do that? Not you guys. These are the rattles. Yeah, showcase the rattles. Dang, dong, dang, ding. It's amazing sound, right? And why are these more resonant? I'm not trying to compete with Sunda, but these are uniquely Balinese. Hold it up, Sam. One up. They have got 4 tubes. These are the most rare ones in Bali that we reconstructed from a photo from 1937 because we couldn't find it in the villages anymore. They have male and female pairs, so they resonate as oscillation like that. Pengisap pengumbang. Do you guys know what that means? Umbang means buzzer. It's the female. Isap is the sucker. The male. You like that? It's a sucker. Isap. Okay. And these are instruments we reconstructed from old photos, and then being sort of a really bad pianist, and I could read a bit of piano notation, I learned the piano notation from 1937, and it was actually, all these parts are notated together, and then we worked it out, and it sounds kind of like this. And this piece of music called Putu Maling Talu, which means ravens stealing crow or ravens stealing eggs, doesn't exist in this village anymore. Chulik, I'm sure Rio has been through it all the time. There's a chulik in Rangasam. They used to have 30 pieces in this repertoire. We took these instruments to their village because we heard that the repertoire died out. So how many pieces do you have? Didn't have any left. So we've repatriated one, and we went there as a sort of mixed family, and we taught them this piece of music called Guat Malin Talu. Yeah. So, Angklung, you guys must have heard of Angklung's the death rites gamelan, although you can use it for temple ceremonies. In some villages, there's a beautiful four-tone tuning, dates back to 1022 is the oldest edict about Angklung. But they talk about these Angklung bamboo instruments. And it's in some villages in Karangasem, they still use them with 2 or 3 tubes, so not with 4 anymore. And they certainly don't use this little instrument called the chungklet. There are a few other bamboo instruments and then some cool cymbals and stuff that we've restored as well. We just couldn't bring the whole crew, couldn't fit them in 2 cars. So this is played by 30 people. You can hear it now on Spotify. And it's the first time we got to hear it because Colin McPhee, if you've heard of him as a researcher, he did silent film and he did, what does he do? Silent film, he did notation, but he never made audio recordings. So we've brought to life his notation, which sounds like a small thing. It was very meaningful. And this village, after we showed them this piece of music, they sent it back, being played by them, a week later in a WhatsApp, like a video. We're playing at a cremation. I was going, that's so cool. So it felt like we're doing something. I'd just like to tell you, we did that with no funding whatsoever. So this was a passion project. We do paid projects if anybody wants to give us any money. And we are working with Nuano Social Fund at the moment, and they've supported us to restore Majapahit Gamelan from Tabanan, and we've done that, so it's finished actually. And we've made a duplicate set so the kids can play on something that's not scary, you know, because the thing about storytelling in Balinese culture is that it starts with the family. So the family tells these stories that you could say are sort of gossip, but they often involve the arts, because Balinese are very artistic. And they might talk about this gamelan that, you know, made a sound at night, or the timekeeper, because during a practice they had an argument, the guy threw it on the ground, a week later had a stroke, and the stroke was like this, you know, because he'd, you know, been playing the timekeeper. So it's very scary for young people. And these stories passing through generation, a bit like Chinese whispers, they get scarier and scarier. So we're trying to help remove some of that scary stuff, so that young people can be a bit freer, and they can play on a secular set, and then they can play on the gamelan due. Due means this sacred guardian set. So that's what we're trying to do, and we'd like to do it in more villages, as many villages as possible. Evie and I, well, I've been doing this since 2000. Evie added all the wonderful stuff to Mekar Bhuana in 2004, doing it for a long time. We asked for your support. Now we have a foundation. We've never had support from outside of Bali. So if you have any connections, thanks so much to Kai and Indosol for inviting us, because nobody really knows much about us, and we really appreciate this, and it's really cool to connect with a beautiful person like Bandana. Nice to meet you. And so thank you everyone for coming. And does anybody have any questions about the gamelan or anything at all before we go? You can visit our centre. We do workshops. So we've actually done a workshop, 1,700 people with these babies, but we had mini ones made. We had them lasered on them, and these, like, I don't know, they were like IT nerds, like conference. They took them home to their countries, and I guess they're still shaking their stuff back in their countries. So we can do these as team building. It's very cool. So all these business people, if you want to do this, we can show them Balinese culture. It's something authentic, and with the passion from, you know, strange outsider with me and our Balinese friends and family, we hope we can make a difference.
Oki's going to help you with the investment.
Yeah, I know he is. Nice to meet you, Oki. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. If anyone has any questions for Evie or me or my kids, or why they want to be forced to do this, just fire away. Ask me. Yeah, or ask them. That would be really cool. Yeah, but you can connect with us. Our centre is on the other side of the world. It took 2.5 hours to get there. We're still in Bali. In Kartalangu, Jalan Gandapura. It's called Mekar Bhuana, Sanggar Mekar Bhuana. Centre is at our house, so make you a copy. Yeah. Mekar Bhuana and Gamelan and Dance Centre with Bu Boss. Yeah, and the team. Matrasuk semua.